My name's Christian Raymond, I'm 24, and this is my 1990 Mazda RX7.
The first thing I said to him was like, dude, if I had this car, I'd probably crash.
First, second, third, hydroplaned, speed picked up 50, 55, and I ended up straight into a telephone pole. And I don't remember anything after that.
Telephone pole, he took it clean out, straight out.
I go straight into the wheel, into the cage, and I go back and I'm just sitting there. My whole face peeled. I'm bleeding, skull exposed. I broke pretty much everything in my body but my arms. Both feet are broken. I can't walk. I somehow, Dukes of Hazzard, climbed out the window and walked away from the accident from so much adrenaline. So I got the car back in September 2024. Buddy of mine who deals with all of my stuff and my other cars hit me up. I was looking for a couple parts, and there just happened to be a guy named John who was selling this car and his entire garage full of parts. I was just interested in the parts, so I hit him up for him, and he said he would only sell everything if it all went together. So I pulled some money together, went out to Jersey, checked everything out, and I picked it up, brought it home that day. A little bit of history about the car. This guy John is in his 70s. Him and a buddy were in SCCA racing. His buddy ended up passing away over the summer. A couple of their friends got out of the racing, so they just wanted to sell everything. Before I had this, I actually have two other ones. I have this one right next to me. It's a 1991 convertible turbo, and then I have another 1990 that's built to drift. This one just kind of popped along, little rally car, and I had to hop all over it. For the car and all the parts, it was about $10,000. So it came with basically an entire car worth of parts, extra transmissions, doors, hatches, hoods, bumpers, motor parts, spare batteries, probably, 20 sets of wheels and tires. Like an insane, it was about 3 or 4 truckloads worth of parts on top of the car and a trailer.
You got a trailer too?
And a trailer.
Okay, wow,
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
With the car, right?
Yeah, so I bought the car, probably had it about a week, took it to my first car show, had a good time just right up the street. A couple days later, Devon, it was his birthday, went out to a park for him. I trailered it out, took it off, and it was just some open roads, so we took it out, hitting on public streets.
We'll bleep that.
What up? My name's Devon. I run annoying.jp, Annoying Team Racing. We're annoying, specialize in like RX7s and drifting and importing like cool Japanese stuff. That's basically it. So Christian pulls up to, I had a surprise birthday party, and he pulls up with this bright blue and orange RX7 on the trailer. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, where'd you get this thing? And he's like, oh, I just picked this up like a couple of days ago. And I'm like, dude, this is sick. Like, this is like the coolest thing ever. It was like fully race car. I mean, like everything that I've ever wanted to do to my RX7 was like done to it. A full cage, Haltech ECU, like not a penny was spared making this car. And he takes it off the trailer, and it sounds great. It's a beautiful car. And he's like, you want to go for a ride? I'm like, dude, that'd be a great birthday present. Like, that'd be sick. To go out for a ride, we're doing we're going pretty fast, and it feels so stable. I mean, it feels like you have every ounce of control with this car. And I was like, the first thing I said to him was like, dude, if I had this car, I'd probably crash. I know myself. I'd probably like do something dumb in this car and just crash it, because like you feel way too confident when you're driving it, you know. Time goes by. It's a week later, he invites me up to this big like show down the street from his house, and I was like, I kind of want to go, but it's raining, and then I was like, I'll just stay in tonight.
About a week later, there was another car show. Everybody's hitting me up. Brought this to the show, trailered it out, and I don't remember anything after that. I know I ended up taking the car off the trailer. I climbed in the seat, took it out. Everybody surrounded the car once it started. buddy of mine came over and he's like, man, I never got to go for a ride at the party. Like, can we go for a ride real quick? Let's just go around the block. Apparently I was like, yeah, let's do it. I mean, you can see there's racing slicks on there. It was a little wet out. I got from one end of the parking lot to the other out on the main road. It might have been about 1/8 of a mile. First, second, third, I'm doing 45 maybe. Hydroplaned, speed picked up 50, 55, and I ended up straight into a telephone pole.
So I'm working on my other RX7 at my house, and I get a call from his girlfriend, and she's like, is he okay? Where is he? And I'm like, who, Christian? Like, she's like, yeah. She's like, what? I'm like, what happened? She's like, you tell me what happened. I was like, I don't know what happened. What happened? She was like, well, weren't you at the meet with him? I was like, no, I'm not at the meet. And she was like, oh, hangs up. And I'm like, what's all that about? And I go to our annoying group chat and I hear, like Aiden's not responding. Does anyone know where he's at? Like, Christian's not responding. I'm like, something's going on. I'm like, crap. I'm like, oh no. It's like, I think he took that blue car to that meet. Then I finally get a hold of her again, and she's like, yeah, he's in Hershey Hospital. I don't know what's going on yet. You know as much as I do. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, so I broke pretty much everything in my body but my arms. I broke both feet, my right foot, all 4 toes snapped. On both feet, the big toe dislocated and fractured. Smashed my left knee. 2 ribs on the left side. One actually went through my lung and punctured it. Fractured my collarbone. My safety harness broke, so I ended up going through the steering wheel and I smashed it in my face, so I've got a nice scar across the forehead. And then I compressed my spine just from the impact.
So you didn't go to the meet?
No.
I guess, what was the first time that you saw like either photos of or the car in person after the accident?
Basically, Aiden's mom asked me she said, I don't know where his phone is, and I think he's missing like a bunch of stuff, and he needs his stuff. So I was like, okay, well, I know, because I do tow truck driving, I was like, I know the lot where they took the car. So like, I can just pull up to the lot and see what's going on and try to find out. And that was the first time I saw the car. No one had any pictures of the accident or anything. I saw it in person, and I was like, damn. I was like, they were in this thing, like, because I just saw that car a few days ago, and it was, perfect. It was pristine. It was gorgeous. And I seeing it like that, it broke, as a rotary guy, as an RX7 guy, it really broke my soul to see it like that. But it hurt even more to know that my like some of my best friends were in that car too. So that was, seeing it in person was crazy. I was like, it's weird seeing the front of the car when you're standing at the side of the car. Like, you shouldn't be able to see the front of the car from the side of the car. But yeah, I guess, I think he had a telephone pole. He took it clean out, straight out.
Tore it out of the ground?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure from all the pictures and stuff I've seen, it took it straight out of the ground.
Yeah, I got a couple tickets.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
I should be. I don't think there's any issues. I didn't get any points on my license, so that's good. Clearly, if you look at it, this is a race car, not street legal at all. So they hit me with no inspection, no registration. I didn't have a license plate on the car, illegal tires, and then the big one that they hit me with was failing to maintain my lane. I hydroplaned and I crossed across the street and then up into somebody's yard, so they hit me with that one.
Did you have to pay for like property destruction too?
No.
Okay.
Luckily,
yeah.
It was about $500 in tickets.
Honestly, less than I thought.
Yeah, I was expecting a lot more. The cop came to the hospital and she just starts coming at me immediately. You guys are out street racing and drag racing, and what's going on, and who else was there? We were leaving a car show. I was doing the speed limit, just wrong place, wrong time.
Wrong tires.
Wrong tires for sure. So I don't remember any of this stuff. This is just from the doctors, the paramedics. I actually have a buddy who was at the car show who is the fire chief who helped out. And there's another guy, he's a volunteer firefighter at my job. When I came back to work, they were talking to me about it. So after the accident, I go straight into the wheel, into the cage, and I go back and I'm just sitting there. My whole face peeled. I'm bleeding, skull exposed. I'm covered, shoulder straps. The rope burn. I'm all cut up and banged up, bleeding. both feet are broken. I can't walk. Roll cage, if you open up the door, the cage is the full door. I somehow, Dukes of Hazzard, climbed out the window and walked away from the accident from so much adrenaline. My passenger, unfortunately, though, wasn't so lucky.
Go to the hospital. At first we see Aiden, who was completely delirious. He did not know where he was. He kept repeating himself. And it was really scary seeing one of your homies like that. You know, he like don't know exactly what's going on, the extent of their damage and stuff, extent of if they're like going to be okay or not, you know. And seeing him like that, it was just terrifying. And I was like, and they wouldn't let us see Christian for like an hour or two after we were at the hospital. We were trying to see him. They wouldn't tell us what room he was in. His girlfriend's crying and freaking out, and we're all like on edge. Just crazy.
He broke his femur, just a clean snap, and they had to use the jaws of life, cut the cage, and drag him out. He actually was in the hospital for about 3 days. It was a clean snap on the femur, so they pulled his bone out, put it back together, did the screw, and just sewed him back up. I want to say within a month, he was already back to snowboarding and skiing and doing all that. Like, it was insane. Wheeled him up to the room right before he left, so I finally got to see him. They wouldn't let us talk while we were in the hospital, I guess, for legal reasons. But he came out, saw me, went home, and he was on crutches the next day. It's a miracle.
Aiden's out skateboarding and snowboarding. No idea how he's doing that. He snapped his leg in half. He's out there doing more than me.
I was in the hospital for about 2 weeks. I was on bed rest, couldn't move. I was in a wheelchair for about 3 months after. I was out of work. I just recently started walking again. I work for FedEx on the dock as a supervisor, so I'm on my feet for 10 plus hours a day. So, I mean, being in a wheelchair is not really beneficial for me, but we're making some progress. I'm up, I'm moving around. It's getting nice out, so hopefully I can start getting outside and doing stuff. I'm starting to drive again. So after the accident, I just remember waking up in the hospital. I'm hooked up. I've got IVs in both arms. My legs, I've got tubes in. I've got full leg casts from the knees down. I've got probably about the size of a quarter sticking out my side, a tube going into my lungs. I had a Miami J C collar, full neck. I'm locked in place, not able to move. I woke up, bandaged up, forehead's wrapped, I'm gushing blood. And they were like, man, you were just in an accident. Like, you're lucky to be alive. Your girlfriend's here. You just had a car accident. And I didn't think I wrecked this car because I know better not to take this out on the street, yet I did it anyway. So I thought I crashed my Jeep. I have a brand new truck. Like, oh no, I crashed my Jeep. And they were like, no. You crashed your race car. I just bought this car 2 weeks ago. You gotta be kidding me. They showed me pictures. The accident was September 29th. So it's been about 6 months, going on 6. And I'm still feeling it. I walk a little funny. I got a limp now. I'm doing physical therapy every couple weeks. They've reduced it. It was once a week, but now it's every like 3 to 4. And Devon actually went out and he picked up the car for me, the trailer, brought everything home, helped me out. This got taken over to the scrapyard, but I bought it back probably 3 days after the accident. It was another $600 in fees just to get this. But the amount of money that's in this car, $600, is nothing. I'll take that all day.
But luckily, he was doing good after that. I mean, mentally, you know, it's struggling, but he was, we were all there for him. We were trying to support him every way we can and helping him out, towing the car for him, taking up, you know, whatever we can do, we were there for him. So.
Well, and I think that speaks a lot to, like, car clubs are kind of cringe for the most part, right?
Yeah.
But I think when it's less about being in a car club and more about just having a lot of support from your buddies, like, I feel like that's a big difference maker, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure for him, that was a huge lifeline.
Yeah, because we literally, that same day that he got in the accident, we signed the lease for this place. The same day. So it was an extra like fu to him, because like he finally, because I mean he's kind of a loner, like he's doing his own thing and I'm doing my own thing, and we finally met, became good friends, and then he's like, oh, he's like, I finally have like a cool family to like do this stuff with, and I was like, yeah, dude, it's good, like the future's gonna be great, we're so sick. And then that same day I had the accident.
Because of the way the car is set up and how the motor sits, I think it helped me. The pole pushed everything back through the firewall. The footwells got pinched, so my feet got trapped. The roll cage, I think, helped me out. Having that going through the dash, I think it stopped most of the blow, stopped the pole from going all the way into the cabin. But at the same time, the racing harness is what broke. No airbags, so there was nothing to protect me. When the harness snapped and both shoulder straps went up, I went forward into the wheel and then sideways into the cage. So that's what ended up messing up my face and my ribs. So I think it kind of balances out.
So your harness is broke?
Yeah. So it was a 5-point harness. So I got both hips between the legs and the shoulder straps. The little clip, I think it came loose, and when it popped, both arms came out.
Oh, so not the actual band, but
yeah, the band didn't break, but I think the clip is what ended up breaking. Yeah, definitely some regrets. Don't drive in the rain on slicks. That's the biggest one. I mean, I would say I'm a pretty safe driver. I don't really play around too much. I have a kid now, so I don't take those risks anymore. I really don't speed. I'm not out street sharking or drifting on the roads. This is something that I really didn't expect to happen, but it just did. And it happened in a split second. I might have been on the road for 10 to 15 seconds, and here I am 6 months later, and I'm still feeling it. So I definitely wouldn't recommend doing something like that. I would make sure that your papers are all in order, like cross your T's, dot your I's, make sure all your legal stuff is done, get your cars inspected and insured. And, you know, I don't have any of that on this, so I'm kind of out of luck. So I definitely regret that.
So it kind of is unfair, because life isn't fair, right? So I do crazy stuff like this all the time. I'm the one doing all this crazy stuff. But I always like get away with it. I always get lucky with it. And like, I know it's gonna run out at some point, but and then he finally gets like a cool car and he takes it out one time, and then this happens. It's like, it's just not fair. And that kind of made me feel some type of way. Like, it's just not fair. I don't know. It hurts, you know. How can I keep doing this stuff and then someone else can't? You know, it's weird. But yeah, I wish like I was there to tell him like don't take it easy, like it's raining out. I think about that a lot, like what could happen if I did go to that show. But I mean, all in all, it's not that bad. I mean, at the time it's horrible, like you're like, oh, my life's over and stuff. But I mean, it just goes to show that it will move on. It will get better. I mean, Christian's back to work. You know, he's almost done with physical therapy. I mean, luckily they didn't, you know, hit anybody else in the oncoming traffic. Luckily, you know, no one else was involved, and he did get away with it, and he's walking around now. So it sucks in the moment, but it will get better. That's all you can do. Just move on, keep your head up. Car crashes are annoying.
So plans with this car, it's kind of done. It's totaled. I don't really see it going too much further. We had thoughts of doing a tube front end and trying to fix it. Everything from like the doors back is fairly straight, but we're just going to chop it up, pull the motor. I've got 2 others, and I have another shell that I plan on building. So hopefully this could be a donor car for that. These parts could get put in and give it a second chance and a second life.
It's like, hold that up.
Bad luck sucks. Oh yeah. Go follow annoying.
He says he was going like 45, 50. Might have been going a little bit more than that. I know these cars. I know when you're, you know, top of second gear, you're going about 80.
you.